My name is Lieutenant Colonel Lee Roger Wolfgram, and I am a storyteller.
Welcome to the bunker.
When you're going to shut up long enough for me to respond, I'll be happy to respond.
If you're a judge, you don't get to tell me to shut up.
Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome back to the Colonel Channel from downtown Minneapolis. I am your self-proclaimed commander, Lieutenant Colonel Lee Roger Wolfgram. And on this channel, I don't give legal advice, I give Colonel advice. And Colonel advice is the kind of advice that gets you through the day with the most skin on your back. With that introduction, I have been watching these Karen videos lately because someone had sent one to me. And I didn't even, I've heard the term before, but you know what? I didn't really know what a Karen was. So I thought, if I'm going to do videos on this stuff, let's look it up. So according to Wikipedia, Karen is a pejorative Generation Z slang term typically used to refer to upper middle class white American woman who is perceived as entitled or excessively demanding. But guess what? There's a man version of this too. The term is generally used to refer to women, but The Atlantic noted that a man can easily be called a Karen. It is considered negative because it reflects a disregard for others' perspectives, a tendency to escalate minor issues, an entitlement to special treatment, all of which can lead to conflict and harm in social interactions. The way they inconvenience everyone, not just the law enforcement people that are reacting, but everyone around them. And in the last video, you saw how, like in an aviation environment, on an aircraft, you can see exactly why Karens, depending on the type of Karen, and this is a broad definition. And oh, by the way, nowadays, the definition pretty much includes all bad behavior that is inconsiderate of others. Okay, well, I think that's probably the best way to summarize that whole issue with the Wikipedia, the rest of the definitions that are out there. So here at the Colonel Channel, we're going to call a Karen a person, male or female, any color of any type, any political persuasion of any type, or someone that just inconveniences everyone else or thinks that they're so entitled that they're special from everybody else. And that's what rubs us all the wrong way. And so with that introduction, let's start a little series on Karens now that we've defined it. And let's watch a Karen in action.
For Bankhead?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that's fine. And Mr. Washington, for Ms. Cosa, we're just adjourning that, correct, for the prosecutor?
I moved him too quick. Heather, I'll bring him back out.
This is our Karen down here in the lower right corner in a cell, which means probably if she had taken some of the Colonel advice, she might not be there.
Mr. Washington,
Yes.
we're just going to adjourn Ms. Cosa, correct?
Yes, but
For the prosecutor?
we can adjourn that. Ms. Kozar has indicated she doesn't want me representing her, so I don't know whether to have her address the court on that.
Okay, I love this, where these people that are in custody don't want the help of a seasoned, experienced lawyer. And I'm not going to sit here and talk bad about public defenders. They've got a tough job, but believe me, they know what the law is. Now, whether you agree with them as far as your defense strategy or not, that's kind of a different category altogether. But when it comes to this stuff, you thinking that you're going to tell the judge how it is and you're going to fire your lawyer and you're going to take control of that case, I just have to say, from a Colonel advice standpoint, that very, very, very rarely works out to your benefit. It is a rare occasion where, I guess, representing yourself has any benefit I can think of at all. So, with that said, we'll continue to watch here.
You want to do that now, or you want to do that after you've talked to all your defendants?
Yeah.
That's good. No, let's do it now. We can let the county go then.
Okay. Yeah, maybe if I can speak to the rest of my clients. Two of my clients are...
No. As soon as we get her on, Ms. Kozar, see if you can get a deputy to unmute you so we can talk.
The prosecutor has version of mid-November.
In this file?
And Ms. Cosa, yes.
Okay. Ms. Kozar, can you hear me all right?
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to release my lawyer. I need a new one because he already violated my rights and my privacy by answering a phone call with my biological mother, who has done nothing but commit crimes against me, and he told her that he was my lawyer before I even knew he was my lawyer, and I don't want my lawyer communicating with one of my biggest predators and enemies who have been doing nothing but committing crimes against me, and I'm pretty sure she set this up as well. So he will not be my lawyer.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. You're not breaking the public defender's heart when you fire him, because that's just one less pain in the ass in their file, right? So you're not hurting the public defender. He's going to be happy, he's going to be happy to not deal with a Karen, because you're already giving the signs of just being a pain in the butt. Now, you have some legitimate concerns here, right? Your lawyer, does he have authorization to talk about other people? But the question is, what is he talking to him about? That would be something that you're concerned about, but legitimate concern. But let's hear the rest.
Just so you understand, you have a right to a court-appointed attorney, but you don't get to pick the attorney unless you pay for the attorney. So I'm going to put in for one request to see if they will appoint another attorney from downtown. I don't appoint the attorneys. That comes from downtown. Understood?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the point here. So the judge is doing, I think, what the judge can do to accommodate her. Regardless of whether this is good or not, she's raised an issue about confidence with her lawyer. Legitimate. You got to have confidence in your lawyer. I totally get it, right? So the judge now is going to do what the judge can and essentially tell the public defender's office, ask them to reappoint another lawyer, actually granting her request.
So that will be adjourned for probably safe 3 weeks.
Well, the prosecutor wants it mid-November because she's off.
Okay, so that should, all right. So
Your
the
Honor,
prosecutor
can you
wants,
speak with me?
the prosecutor is asked to have this adjourned
Your
into
Honor.
mid-November, so that should be time for you to get a
Okay,
new
Your Honor,
attorney.
I was kidnapped. They came in a car that was not Belleville. They busted into my house. I have video evidence. They took the knife out of my room that had nothing on it. He did not have gloves on it. He did not have gloves on. He did not have an evidence bag. He took my phone that I...
Okay, right here I'm going to stop you. See, this is a common thing. And again, I'm not going to say this person is bad. They don't understand. But these issues of evidence at this point, when you're in a jail cell, this is about getting you out of the jail cell. Later on, your lawyer will get all of the video, all of the police reports, all of the recordings, and then you can compare that, and then you can start to put down some defenses. But doing it from a jail cell is doing you absolutely zero good.
He took my purse. When I was leaving to come here in the new jail, do you know that we're in the new jail? There's an old jail and a new jail. Well, when they took me in the new jail, he told me, oh, I don't have any property. So they stole my purse, they stole my phone, they stole all my identification. Then they did not take me to a Belleville station, and they were not in Belleville cars. They didn't even take me to Sumter station, and they were not in Sumter cars. They took me to a place called Huron. And when I asked the cop, why am I here? He said, I don't know, I don't work here. So I've been kidnapped. I'm trying to call the FBI. I have no wristbands. They won't.
Okay, so here you see she's starting to go off the rails, right? So my question really is here, if I were, to put on my compassionate hat, I think she's suffering from some sort of, possibly some sort of mental illness or delusional behavior. And I would be handling this in trying to actually get to, why does she have these beliefs? If it's just plain, so it's going to go one of two ways. It's just plain Karen and she's outright crazy and she's not going to be able to help in her defense because she's going to keep on focusing on the wrong things. Or she genuinely has an issue here, and that's what the lawyer should be doing here, is figuring out which one of those it is so she gets the help that she needs when she's in court.
They make 2 free phone calls. They won't give me a tablet. They barely let me out. They barely, if I do anything wrong, they punish me in their own ways because no one's watching them. Since I got here, I've been screaming and asking and begging for a sergeant. No sergeant will come and talk to me.
Okay. This is where the Karen piece is, right? So I've been demanding a sergeant. No sergeant comes. Look, sergeants aren't going to come if they don't feel that there's some legal issue or emergency or something. Just because you're in the jail and demand a sergeant, you know what? You're not running shit. The sergeant is. And if you're just in there bitching, guess what? Not likely it's going to be the top priority for the sergeant full of people that are in custody.
I just got sandals today. So many corrupt things are happening. Who do I report it to? No one will. I can't call the FBI. I've told every single person, not every person. I've told so many inmates, sheriffs, nurses, doctors, social workers. Will you please call the FBI? I've been kidnapped. This is not the first time. Will you please call the FBI?
Yeah, I've been kidnapped by the police.
Call the FBI. And I know I don't get to choose my attorney, but I do have the right to have an attorney that does the legal thing and respects my rights and doesn't.
This is true.
A predator.
Yep,
An
true.
enemy who's attacking me, don't answer their phone call. And you're not supposed to tell anyone you're my lawyer or any information about my case. This is what happened last time with Lauren Anderson. She communicated with my biological parents who were in the case. They
Okay, and here's part of the problem with public defenders being able to talk to all the clients before they make an appearance, because they've got such a great caseload. In some cases, you're just in custody up before there's a public defender that gets appointed at the moment, hasn't even had an opportunity to talk to you, but is immediately going to step in, make the best arguments to get you out of jail so you can manage your defense in a reasonable manner.
deals are talking. They have their cell phone number. So this is just going to keep going and going and going and going and going and going.
You done?
I am now, because you really don't want to hear the rest.
I didn't understand that. You're done now because what?
Does it sound like you want to hear the rest of the information and the truth and the facts?
There's nothing I can do with any of the information you just spewed at me.
Aren't you?
Okay, so, right. So nobody wants to deal with her, and neither does the judge, oh, by the way.
Judge? You can
Yeah,
call
but
the
I'm
FBI.
not in charge of the Wayne County Jail.
Huh? Excuse me, I'm sorry, I did not hear what you said.
That's because you're talking over me.
No, I wasn't talking when you said something about Wayne County Jail.
I am not in charge of the Wayne County Jail. It's called separation of powers. So you've asked for a new attorney. That takes time.
But I told you the cops kidnapped me. You can call the FBI and say, hey, you want to investigate and see if this is true? She's claiming to be kidnapped. And I've also been claiming to be sex trafficked. And I believe I'm being raped. And I believe that there are people in my house that I couldn't see, even though...
Okay, see, so this is starting to be, Karen, yeah, probably started as Karen, probably some underlying Karen things, but overlaid upon that, I think there is some delusional, for whatever reason, there's some delusional stuff, because I really don't believe, and I don't think the judge believes that that all of those things are true.
told the cops, hey, I think there's people here. And then they took me to a mental hospital saying, no, Alicia, you're manifesting this. There's no people here. Really, then why do I hear men's voices? And why are other people's mail being delivered at my house?
Maybe because you're not taking the medication that you were prescribed for your mental illness. One possibility. I've seen that many times.
Let me know when I...
You're the only one I can tell. Who else am I going to tell?
When you're going to shut up long enough for me to respond, I'll be happy to respond.
If you're a judge, you don't get to tell me to shut up.
Oh, I certainly can. And I can make you shut up. Watch. Here it goes.
You're lying.
Here it comes.
I'll take it to the Supreme Court.
I love it. I love it. That cracks me up. Oh my gosh. I got to tell you. All right. Well, I guess who won that one, right? I mean, again, when I give you practical advice, kernel advice, it isn't always the legal advice that's the most important at the moment. The legal advice comes when you actually have facts, evidence, and the things that they are going to use against you. When you're in a situation where the police are in control, the best thing you can do is get out of police control, out of police custody. Well, anyway, this introduction to our whole Karen series, and I'll do some other Karens as well. But I wanted to understand what a Karen was. Then I wanted to look at it a little bit in that perspective with that definition. And as you can see, it's an ever-expanding description of bad behavior that is inconvenient to everyone because you think that you're the most important thing all the time. With that said, until the next time, if you're in my unit, I don't have any Karens. They're just not in the unit. So if there's any Karens here, you can about face and don't bother to comment. And if you're not a Karen, feel free to comment. I welcome the comments, and I do read them. Until the next time, from the Wolfgram Worldwide headquarters here in downtown Minneapolis, Wolf 6, out here.